Continue to bring you stories this morning about how Black history has shaped Atlanta. The passage of the Voting Rights Act of 1965 outlawed any racial discrimination at the polls, meaning here in Atlanta the end of decades of voter suppression tactics aimed at Black voters. While the civil rights leaders fought for the legislation, there is another fight. Our Faith Jesse has more.
Two generations on a mission.
I would say that young voters just care about being heard.
Nearly 60 years ago, civil rights leader C.T. Vivian marched for the right to vote.
This courthouse does not belong to Sheriff Clark. This courthouse belongs to the people of Dallas County.
Today, Julius Thomas and Remington Rollet are continuing that mission.
Hi, guys.
Hey. What's going on?
Thank you so much for being here.
Through a grassroots organization called the People's Uprising.
For those who have never heard of the organization, what is the People's Uprising?
The People's Uprising is a social justice organization that was created in 2020 as a response from the George Floyd situation that happened.
A mission that grew into a major effort to get young people registered to vote. This is Votelanta, a concert where your ticket to get in is your voter registration.
I think we calculated at our very first event ever, close to 3,000 people who registered to vote for the first time ever.
This is a nonpartisan event. So you're not telling people how to vote. You're just saying it's important to vote.
We're not telling people who to vote, Democratic or Republican or Independent, but we just want you to exercise your vote.
In Georgia's last general election, there were a little over 2 million registered Black voters. About half of them showed up to the polls, according to numbers from the Georgia Secretary of State's office. Voter registration efforts 6 decades ago are still part of Atlanta's identity today. C.T. Vivian's son, Al Vivian, keeping his father's legacy alive.
In 1877, the state of Georgia initiated its first massive voter suppression to stop African Americans from voting. 1965, when the Voting Rights Bill was signed into law, that was what changed everything. At the same time, you still had threats of intimidation, especially if you lived in rural areas. People would threaten you, you threaten your life. Employers would deny you, say they would take away your job if you voted.
A new generation dedicated to continue the mission, to encourage people to get out and vote.
We cannot afford to take the foot off the gas pedal and really continue to push the message and push the point to continue to drive change, because once we relax, all the things that we as young people want in our hearts, it may just go to the wayside. So we got to continue to apply that pressure and just speak up and speak out.